Hi guys, today is September 17th, 2020, and not a very good morning on Wall Street as futures are pointing to a large drop, about 330 points right now, and even worse for NASDAQ futures. And let's see what happens, but we have the whole day in front, but so far not so good. So even though yesterday Fed Chief Jerome Powell pledged to keep the rates at pretty much zero for the next several years, and this is as dovish as you can get to me, but investors invested even more than that, I guess. But to me, it's was pretty dovish message from Jerome Powell yesterday, and President Trump yesterday also have spoken about the virus timelines, and it contradicted the CDC director timelines, because President Trump said that the vaccine could be available at the end of October, but CDC director said it may not be available for the next 3 to 6 months. So people don't know what to think at the same time, at this time. So let's jump to SPY, ETF for S&P 500. So SPY is obviously trading lower this morning, and right now it's a make or break moment for SPY, because it looks like it's going lower, and there's a first support level at around $325 and or $323, somewhere in that area. So let's see if that holds, and if it doesn't hold, we may go even lower than that. But let's see what happens, because recently, every time the market dropped, the buyers came in, and hopefully this is going to happen this time. But in general, not a very good morning, and the market will go lower today, at least at the open. Okay, so let's jump to corporate news. Let's start with FedEx. Okay, so FedEx reported actually spectacular earnings of $4.87 versus $2.69 expected, so pretty much double the earnings. Revenue also beat. Daily package volume jumped 31% in the fiscal first quarter, and FedEx is dropping this morning, and this could be a pretty good opportunity to get into at least and some of the stock, at least close to $240 area. Actually, there's a gap here that I can see here. You see between 241 and 250. So if as soon as that gap filled, I would be jumping into the stock. So close to $240, I'm interested. Okay, Adobe also reported earnings, and it's also dropping this morning. Reported pretty good earnings, posted a beat on top and bottom, but offered a cautious outlook on the conference call, and actually shares ran a lot, and it's dropping this morning pretty hard, and yesterday it fell a lot, and I think if it goes hits the 50-day moving average line, if it goes through this, I would be cautious, but if it bounces off, you could be a buying opportunity. And it's sitting right there, like $465. So I think it's a strong support line around that area, or closer to $460. So I would be interested in shares of Adobe for $460 or lower. Okay, ZG. Zillow Group. Okay, so Zillow Group was rated as a catalyst call by Deutsche Bank, noting that $4.8 billion SPAC deal startup Opendoor sets the stage for Zillow to get more value attribution for the home segment of its business. So more value recognition was the purchasing of this startup, and shares of Zillow has been on a crazy run this year, and it's trading in overbought territory right now, and it's dropping this morning just like every stock that I see, but could be a good opportunity to get into Zillow if it gets at $90 or below $90, because there is a support line around that area. Okay, Kodak. Eastman Kodak. Okay, so Kodak has been a battleground stock, and shares were popping yesterday after internal investigation determined that transactions of its CEO did not go against its internal policies. So I'm not sure if I'm buying this line, because I mean, Kodak is being investigated by Securities and Exchange Commission, and I'm not sure if this internal investigation changes my mind, for example. But a lot of people thought that this is good news, and it's kind of good news, but it's not spectacular news to me. And I would be careful at buying Kodak at this moment, and after the rise of like 40% yesterday. So I would be cautious with Kodak, KODK. Okay, KBH. So KBH was upgraded by Evercore ICI to outperform, and KBH is the home builder, and it's sitting on a very pretty chart right now. And actually, I'm very interested in KBH, especially if the market drops today. It could be a good opportunity to get into the stock at lower prices, because right now, technically, it looks pretty good magged across here. It's not overbought, and I think it could be a good opportunity on this drop to get into the stock. Sorrento Therapeutics. Sorrento is popping this morning after receiving clearance from FDA to proceed with antibody trials. So I would fade the open in Sorrento, and it's good news for Sorrento actually. I mean, and looks like the chart looks good. MACD is crossing, but I would fade the open and try to get in. If you want to get in, try to get in under $10 into Sorrento. Okay, Inovio Pharmaceuticals has been on a crazy run in the past 2 days. I think yesterday was up like 35% or something like that. And the company presented at H.C. Wainwright 22nd Annual Global Investor Conference, and the CEO has spoken and obviously talked up the stock, and talked about their potential vaccine and their advantages of their vaccine, that it's very safe compared to other vaccines, and that they're on track to develop it by the end of the year, and they're on track to do the trials. And he also said that there will be money to produce the vaccine, and money and manufacturing capabilities to produce the vaccine. So good news on Inovio front, but shares popped a lot, and it's actually lower this morning. I would like the shares to, at least if you want to get in, to come down to like $15 area before I jump into the stock. INO. Okay, staying with the same theme, Moderna. So Moderna is pretty much flat this morning, but they said that they're about to start developing seasonal flu vaccine on top of the Rona vaccine they're doing, and also said that their Rona vaccine has the opportunity to accelerate the company into a commercial company in 3 to 5 years. And also inked 2 collaboration deals this morning, okay, with 2 pharmaceutical companies. I think Moderna is in a pretty good, has a pretty good technical setup, and it's actually confirmed by good fundamental news. And I think Moderna shares are going higher. Okay, DKNG. DraftKings is dropping this morning pre-market because it ran too hot, in my opinion. But they actually announced a deal with NFL's New York Giants to be team's executive operator of sports betting, iGaming, and daily fantasy sports. And people assume that they may do the same thing with other NFL teams, and I am also assuming the same thing. But I'd like the shares ran a lot recently, and I'd like the shares to come down a little bit, and they are coming down like in mid 40s. I would be interested in DKNG. Okay, SNOW. How can I miss SNOW? SNOW had a very successful IPO yesterday. It's the biggest IPO software debut ever. So shares open pretty much like they went to $320, and as you remember, the IPO was supposed to be like initially at $80, then it was raised to $110, $120, and guess what? It opened like $280 and went to like 320 or something like that. And right now it's trading pre-market at 232, still too high in my opinion. It's a very interesting stock, very interesting company. It's a very good company. It's the future of cloud. In my opinion, is very, very good company with the projected revenue to triple in the next few years. But the shares are very high right now. I mean, they're still pretty much double from the initial IPO price, and the initial IPO price was raised. So I would be very, very careful with Snow. Very careful with Snow. I would let it to come down at least into like $180, $170 area before I even think about buying Snow for the long term. Okay, you can play with it because it's a pretty good play stock pretty much during the day, you know, buy and sell, sell and buy. But for the long term, I wouldn't be buying it at these prices. Okay, CCL and other cruise line companies like NCLH and RCL, they're all pressured this morning on conflicting, like I mentioned before, on conflicting guidelines from President Trump and CDC, and we'll see what happens. But shares ran a lot of these companies, and I would be careful right now to buy these stocks. Okay, CVS. Okay, CVS Health, and CVS said that it plans to double its testing drive-through sites to over 4,000 across U.S. And on a separate note, Piper Sandler said that they're starting CVS at overweight with $72 price target. I mean, CVS has been under pressure recently, and shares came down a lot. And I think it's a good opportunity. It's a good company. I think it's a good opportunity to get into the stock. And by the way, I haven't mentioned this for a while. And if you want to see my portfolio, my trades on pretty much everyday basis, you can check out a Patreon link in the description of this video. Penn shares are lower this morning, just like everything else, but price target for Penn was raised at Stifel Nicholas to $85, and right now Penn is trading closer to overbought territory, and I would like shares to come down a little bit before I buy it. Okay, and that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the like button, and I'll see you Monday.